Hello, Henry from Belgium here. Today I'm showing you LEGO set 1590-2, Breakdown Assistance from 1982. It is a set you couldn't buy in regular toy stores, but only through the ANWB, the Dutch Roadside Assistance. It's one of those rare promo sets that LEGO made back then for national organizations like auto clubs or emergency services. We're in the early 80s, right in the golden age of Classic Town. It's a time when nobody has a mobile phone yet, and roadside assistance means walking up to the emergency phone and waiting for the yellow roadside assistance van to arrive. This set is fairly rare, and boxed examples are hard to find. You usually spot them only on specialized auction sites, and they tend to be pricey. Sometimes they pop up without the box on regular second-hand sites, and you can still pick them up for a reasonable price, just like I did. I don't have the box, but I did get the front and back panels as a nice extra. On the front, you get that classic early 80s product shot, a clean scene with the entire set nicely presented. On the back, as was common back then, you'll find alternate build ideas, fun suggestions to create other models using the very same parts. I have the original instruction manual, not a reprint. When it's folded, it's a handy little booklet, but once you unfold it, it turns into a large sheet that takes up almost half of my table, so it's a bit tricky to handle while building. The instructions themselves are very clear, with bright, well-drawn illustrations. On the front, you can see the minifigures and the 3 vehicles you can build, and on the back, the complete scene with the workshop and the phone booth. It may look like the drawings were made on a computer, but they weren't. These illustrations were still manually drawn and offset printed, completely typical for 1982. At the bottom, you can see how the finished set should look, and in the corner there's a small note that confirms this is an original first edition manual, not a later reprint. The set contains 237 parts, including the pieces for the 4 minifigures. It's not a large set, and most of the loose bricks are pretty standard for early 1980s Classic Town. In principle, you can easily recreate the build using modern or period-correct bricks. The real value lies in the completeness and originality. The custom stickers on the vehicles, windows, doors, and building facade, the telephone print, and the white flag with the logo. I'll show you all of that later on during the build. Another important detail is the period-correct road base plates, and especially their condition. Mine aren't in perfect shape. There's a little bit of discoloration, but I'll try giving them a careful clean to make them look a bit better. There's no real damage though, and that's what matters most to me. I can also immediately tell that these are the early road plates produced between 1978 and 1986 because there are no extra printed lines marking a bicycle lane. That version only appeared from 1986 onward. The set comes with 4 minifigures, 3 crew members in black uniforms with white caps, and 1 driver wearing a dark jacket with gray legs and brown hair. They may look simple, but they're actually quite interesting for collectors. Those black torsos with 6 buttons are not police uniforms. Police torsos from that period have a completely different print. This is a specific, rarer design that appears in black in only 3 sets, and that makes it, along with the road base plates and the original stickers, an important contributor to the overall value of this set. Well-preserved examples with crisp, undamaged prints can easily reach €5 each or more. All 4 have the classic smiley face, solid stud heads as you'd expect in 1982, and, for the driver, old light grey legs, not the later bluish-grey version. I'm starting with the classic car belonging to the driver, the one that's broken down. For those who like to keep things historically accurate, like I do, it's important to check whether the vehicle base is the correct early version without a center hole. Apart from that, it's a typical classic build with the usual pieces from that era. There's no seat, but you do get the familiar opening doors, steering wheel, windows, and a fold-open roof. The yellow plates for the headlights and red plates for the taillights add a nice touch of realism. Otherwise, no surprises here. No rare parts or prints, just the clean simplicity of early Classic Town design. What I do like is the small hinge with a tile at the front, which makes it look as if you can actually work on the engine. It's a pity LEGO didn't add a few round 1x1 bricks inside to represent an engine block. That would have made it just a little more realistic. For the roadside assistance car, I'm using the same vehicle base without a center hole, but this time in yellow. The color choice isn't a coincidence. This was also the real color of the ANWB service vehicles back in the 1980s. They drove bright yellow Volkswagens, DAFs and Fords, highly visible on the highway, with large logos on the doors and a warning light on top. That striking yellow wasn't just a style choice, it was meant for visibility and safety. The LEGO version captures that perfectly. A simple but instantly recognizable yellow car, with black details and custom stickers on the sides. There's no luxury interior, but plenty of nice touches like a wrench, walkie-talkie, megaphone, and a custom brick on the roof with a warning light. The design also leaves plenty of space inside, so you can even store 2 printed tiles with road signs neatly in the back. The mix of simplicity and recognizability makes this one of those small vehicles LEGO did so well in the early 1980s. Compact, clear, and unmistakably a roadside assistance car at first glance. The tow truck, like the rest of the set, is fairly basic in its construction. But the design is efficient and does exactly what it's meant to do. Provide space for a car to be towed. With a combination of plates and hinges, the car can drive neatly onto the back, making the whole setup surprisingly functional for such a compact build. I did notice, however, that I received the wrong hinges. And if we're talking about interesting or rarer parts, it's exactly those hinges that stand out. This set was originally equipped with a specific, less common type. The plate 1x2 with double finger on end, and the yellow hinge plate 1x2 with single finger on end. These yellow versions appeared in only 3 different sets in total, so they're not the kind of parts you just have lying around in your spares box. I recognize them from my mobile rocket transport from the classic space line. The yellow ones sell for around €3 each, and since I need 4 of them, that means I'll have to spend €12 to make this set historically accurate. And that's typical for secondhand LEGO. Sellers sometimes replace missing parts without really paying attention, but still sell the set as complete and rare. Only later do you discover those small inconsistencies that for a purist like me make all the difference between complete and correct. I've barely started building the set, and I've already come across another small mistake. The modified 1x1 plate that holds the wrench isn't the correct version. It should be Type A, but I have Type C here. Another thing I'll have to replace later to make the set fully accurate. What I'm building at this point is a kind of work area, and right away I discover a fun and surprisingly creative play feature. By combining a hinge, a modified plate, and a chair, LEGO created a small lifting mechanism that lets you raise the car off the ground so you can work underneath the base. The build itself is made from simple plates and bricks and is open at 3 sides. One wall has windows, which adds a bit of structure, but it still feels slightly incomplete. It would have been even better with a garage door system, to make it feel more like a proper enclosed workshop. But I guess those openings were left there to improve playability, making it easier to move the vehicles and figures around. On the positive side, a few bricks with custom stickers are placed on the roof, which adds some nice extra detail and gives the whole structure a bit more character. The emergency phones, which no longer exist today, are built here in a simple yet effective way. Thanks to the many custom stickers, they become unique elements within this set. And they're not just decorative, they also serve a functional purpose. By placing them like this on the road base plates, they actually connect the 2 plates together, keeping them neatly aligned so they don't slide apart. I'm also building a phone booth, and for that I need 3 specific window elements with fixed glass. This model in blue only appears in this set, and if you want to buy them separately, they'll cost you around €1.50 per window. The slope brick with the telephone print is another special element in this build. That specific print only appears in a handful of sets, which makes it a nice little collectible detail for anyone who loves these early classic town accessories. The phone booth is also something that has completely disappeared from today's streets. Just like the emergency phones, it truly belongs to the 80s and 90s. And that's exactly why this set no longer feels contemporary. It's a time capsule of how roadside assistance used to work, and that's what makes it so interesting to have in my collection. For completeness, it's worth mentioning that LEGO in the early 80s collaborated with both the ANWB in the Netherlands and the TCS in Switzerland. So there's also a similar set, number 1589, where the main difference lies in the stickers and branding. I really enjoyed discovering this set. It's not a challenging build, but it's a relaxing and satisfying experience. Classic LEGO at its best. It offers a lot of variation. 3 different vehicles, a small workshop, a phone booth, and plenty of decorative details. Sometimes that's all you need. It is colorful, playful, and with a clear story that instantly captures the charm of the early 1980s LEGO Town era. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a like. And if you'd like to see more every Sunday, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.